What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today, finally, the character everyone has been waiting for, Baiken, has been added to Guilty Gear Strive. So, if you have the season pass, you have her now. If you don't, you gotta wait a couple more days. But today's just a quick overview of her moves, special moves, simple combo, and just my impressions of the character overall. So to start, the past couple of characters we had in Guilty Gear are Happy Chaos, who's new to the game, and Jack O, who is a returning character. But these two characters, it was pretty hard to see where they were going to go from day one. Maybe Jack O, you could say like, oh, she's about the minion, so everything's gonna be about minion building and things like that. But Happy Chaos has changed quite a bit since he's come out, like how people play him, right? Unlike these two characters, I think Baiken is a little bit more straightforward, definitely easier to play at a glance than them. Gold Lewis, in the end, his game plan is pretty simple, but like people had to build out things with him because he was kind of a weird character that's all built around one, quite literally one special move, even though it has a bunch of variants. Now, first, Baiken is decently mobile, so she has a relatively long backdash. She's not slow by any means. Her walk speed is not too quick though. Now, her air backdash pretty fast. Her forward air dash is also pretty standard. So let's go into a quick move breakdown. So first we have 5P. So it's a pretty fast move. I'm not sure how fast it is. It's definitely your standard jab. I'd assume this is like a 5-frame jab. And the nice thing is that it hits crouching. So there are a lot of characters who have 5Ps that don't hit crouching. Her 2P also pretty standard poke. So her 2K. So one, it definitely doesn't look like a low profile, like going under things type 2K. And two, occasionally on block, she has a problem that a couple other characters have where her sweep might whiff at max range 2K. I couldn't really replicate this on hit. It seems like on hit you'll always get it, but on block it seems a little bit iffy. Besides that, it's a pretty standard 2K. And she has 6K, so this move is actually a really big move. It hits really deep and it's quite active. Now what this means is definitely for day one, if you're struggling against wake up throw, I probably would recommend this move. It feels extremely active. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the exact numbers on it. Then we have her slash buttons. So this is her close slash. If it's similar to most close slashes, it's probably around 5 or 6 frames active, 7 frames startup, and like basically everyone else's close slash, it is jump castable on block. Now 2S is where we start getting a little funky. This move is huge, but it is not a low. But it should just go to show how good her mid-range control is. Then here we have her far slash. As you can tell in comparison, her 2 is actually quite a bit larger than her far slash. Then we have a quick look at heavy normal. So she has 5H. Pretty standard 5H for this game. Looks pretty big. Not a ton of recovery. And seems like relatively safe compared to other 5Hs in the game. I have a feeling that it's probably on the lower end, around like -4, -5. Now here is the esports normal. It is time for 2H. This move is a low. It's fucking huge. There's no other way to put it. It will basically never miss after 2S and far slash. It's a huge button. She also have this 6H as quite a bit of recovery on whiff. This looks kind of like a combo part to me more than anything else. Of course, you can use it for frame trapping as well, but I wouldn't recommend poking with it. As I mentioned before too, we have sweep. So this is the 2 hitting low. Last command normal, of course, 6P. So her 6P, this is the command anti-air that everyone has upper body invul. She reaches pretty high. The big differentiator between character 6P is how quickly their upper body invul activates, right? So a character like Milia has the top tier one, so her upper body invul activates extremely quickly on her 6P in around like 3 frames. Where characters like Zato, his activates pretty slow. It activates in 5 frames. So the question is going to be, where does Baiken fit into that? As far as aerial moves, she has a downward angle JP. This is kind of nice for air versus air. Her JK, she kind of does this stanky-like thing, but it reaches above, so I imagine this will be good for preemptive jumping, reaching people in the air. Her JS, kind of an esports normal too, not gonna lie. Has the same little weapon as 2S has, and it's really big. And JH is a really deep jumping, so look at this hitbox. This is actually, in Exert at least, you have to fight this move the way you fight against Ram, jump heavy. So this move is extremely active and hits really deep, so it's a really good jump in. And last, jump D. So this is a classic move in her toolkit. People used to use it for loops in I think basically every version of Guilty Gear. And in this version, it does wall bounce too. Okay, let's look at special moves next. So first we have the new tatami gaeshi. There are two versions, the ground and air version. So the ground version has 2 hitboxes, and the air version, basically the tatami is the only hitbox. Depending on when the tatami hits, you will have different amounts of frame data. So for example, if you do like this, so this hits pretty late, but here you can see there's 2 hitboxes like that. Another thing too is how they clearly connect, so there's no gap. And while like this, Baiken doesn't have like a big advantage. If you do it from like here, their counterattacks won't be able to reach you, and you'll move faster. So off of forward air dash, it's pretty fast. The air dash is slower than in previous Guilty Gear. Off back dash, if you do it like an instant air back dash, it seems like you won't get it. Maybe someone else will figure out how to do it. I've been doing it from like higher heights to get it. Reminder that the air version only has the tatami mat as the hitbox, but you are dummy plus when you have this. Like just really, really advantageous. So next we have Kabari. So this is a chain. So she has 2 versions. One where she activates this tether thing, which is its own discussion, to be honest, and another one that's faster, the heavy one, which she just like pulls you in a little bit. So for the S one, honestly, this is like her new mechanic, which I'm gonna talk about this in particular in a little bit. So H in particular has follow-ups, which like she can go through you, she can delay the follow-up, and right now this is like the main thing that people are labbing against. The range on this is pretty good. So thankfully though, you can 6P through this, but it seems like kind of hard from testing. So next is the move that makes everyone sad, her new parry, Hiiragi. But I think for the context of this game, this move's amazing. So I mentioned a little bit in the starter guide that in Exerd, they changed her guard cancels to like a parry stance, I think it's called Azami. And while that move had a bunch of different and special rules, definitely when Exerd Baiken got released, people were pretty tight about her not having like the traditional guard cancels. So in this time, she doesn't have the guard cancels or her armored run. But in the context of this game, I think that shit would honestly be like super, super good. So instead, I mean, honestly, beyond super good. Honestly, I don't think characters could deal with it that well. So instead, they consolidated her defensive tools into one move called Hiiragi, which is just this parry like motion. Shoutouts to Third Strike. Now, this move activates frame 1. It does quite a lot of damage, and it beats highs and lows. There's quite a lot of damage, as you can see. Now, of course, it's Guilty Gear Strive, so you do have parry PRC. So when you have 50, you are actually quite strong defensively. They have to throw you. Now, there are a lot of characters that have good strike throw, but it's like the risk return is a little bit different because a lot of characters have like traps, let's say, where they'll put you into like a strike throw, but their advantage, so you can only mash the throw, where this move attacks all the variations of strikes. So like they have to much more aggressively call out your parry, which enables you to press other buttons, which in my opinion, that's kind of like the guessing game Baiken was going to play in the first place. Now, one thing though is that this move does not beat projectile. So anyone who uses projectile style Oki, you guys will be set. So Eno players don't really have to worry about much. Melee players, you're still cruising against Baiken. Potemkin players, got her to impact, you're good. Like if you have like any type of projectile Oki, you can stop her from doing it. So just in my opinion, I think this is like a pretty good solution because the moves in this game have long total duration. So depending on like what moves people are using in neutral, you can use this move to catch them. So here's an example one, right, with Faust. So everyone knows this string 4/2H is really huge. So she can do that and just get him to stop doing it. Also, this is similar, as you can see, to Leo's back turn D, where if you parry stuff that's far away, they kind of just bounce away, and she's advantageous by a little bit. Another thing to think about too is one of the hard parts about using Baiken before, for sure, is like everyone in old Guilty Gear games have different Gatlings. So in this game, everyone has the same Gatling, so you can have the same baseline guessing game against most characters just based on Gatlings. Obviously, people are going to be using their moves differently. And then as you build with the character, you'll find really specific places to threaten with this parry to get people to respect you more. Another move I want to talk about is Yozan-sen. So this is also a move from her old toolkit. This one is an instant overhead where he has to switch his guard. Now the thing is though, in old Guilty Gear, this move has like no tech time, so you need meter. You don't need meter to do it, but you need meter to like combo off it. Where in this game, you can use this move in air combos. I've seen a couple, but I haven't learned them myself. And you can like link more stuff because this game doesn't have air tech and you just fall, so you can link stuff, which is really, really good. So it's not just a pressure tool, which is it's kind of nutty that she has like an instant overhead she can just do, but it also is a combo tool. And last but not least, we have super. So we have this, which is her invul reversal. I was just showing it in that gap just to show that it has like some invincibility to play with. And the other is the meme super, the gun. So I've already seen a couple of combo things with this. There's some special effects that happen during this too. Now the thing about this is that this activates a guard crush that seems to have frame advantage. Right? If I was smashing 5P, I'm getting counter hit by using close slash. So this move does have plenty of advantage. So it goes through projectiles as well. Boom, just like that. Now, a couple of interesting notes about Baiken. So I still have 2 more things I want to talk about before I show a quick combo and end the video. So I know you're still waiting for tether, but not yet. I want to talk about her versus projectiles a little bit, because one of like the bad things, quote unquote, about Hiiragi is that it doesn't beat projectiles. Okay, smoked. Now, this move, Leo's H Fireball, is actually pretty hard for most characters to deal with, right? Baiken, her tatami gaeshi deletes projectiles. But interestingly enough, it's only the ground version, not the air version. So the air version is a normal projectile. It has like 1 hit of projectile durability. But for whatever reason, the ground version has just kills projectiles. So even though at a glance, people are like, man, what's she going to do against zoners? How's she going to get in? Would they have a good fireball? She has a really fucking good answer to it in tatami gaeshi. She just stomps it out of existence. And then, of course, the last thing we do have to talk about is the tether. So I think this is going to be the main thing that people are going to be exploring a lot. There's some funny stuff that maybe in like a day or 2 when I try to make a actual combo guide for people who are just starting her, I'll show this off. But people, when you get tethered to Baiken, people have tether specific combos, like combos that only work because Baiken is tethered to you. But also Baiken gets a bunch of special things too. So I'm going to show you a simple example that everyone's been basically spamming. So this is a safe jump using the tether. So you can throw, backdash, which puts you airborne, and you tatami gaeshi and you go flailing into them. Now, if you don't want to be tethered to the opponent, because that was also something people were really worried about, you can hold the dust button and she won't tether to you when you throw them. Now, the thing is, this means Baiken is really good at establishing her offense, because this destroys DP. It's very easy to safe jump 7-frame reversals. So the physics get kind of funky with the tether. So this I actually want to wait a couple of days and explore a little bit more, but it's just a basic place to start. Here's a basic mid-screen combo for you to start. So here we have close slash, 2H, tatami gaeshi, 2S, kabari, follow up, I80 tatami for safe jump. Okay, so that's it for today. So seems good, outlook good, normals are great, conversion ability seems good, interesting toolkit, kind of a different pace. It feels like tethering is a whole nother world. It's, again, this is like a mechanic I haven't really seen from any character in a fighting game, really. There's a couple that have like something similar, but I can't say it's the same. So sorry for the setup, by the way. I'm actually not home. I'm at a major offline event right now, so I kind of had to gangster this one out. But I'm going to try to play people with her after the event is over on Saturday. So hopefully I'll have some matches for you guys, and I'll be keeping an eye and trying to figure out more combos on my own as well. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.